Windows 8 is coming, and we've seen a bunch of novel designs from notebook manufacturers looking to take advantage of this new operating system's sort of dual interface. One of them is the Sony VAIO Duo 11. It's an 11-inch tablet that actually has a really unique slide-out keyboard. I'll show you that in a second. But first, if you look at the display, we really like it. It's a 11.6-inch display with a resolution of 1920 by 1080. So it's very crisp. And as you can see, it's very responsive too when we zoom in and out of things. But for those times when you actually want to type something, simply lift up on it, and it reveals a backlit keyboard. And there's even a little pointing stick in the middle that's actually it's a tiny optical sensor, so this doesn't actually move, but it senses where your finger is. Take a quick look around the system. I'll fold this back up here. We have two USB 3.0 ports as well as HDMI on the side here. On the other side here, there's a memory card slot as well as VGA. And on the back, there's a little Ethernet port, which we like, as well as power. One thing we weren't particularly thrilled of was the fact that the volume controls are really hidden. It's hard to not only press them, but find them to begin with. And while we while we think this is a very innovative design, switches the screen, we're worried about two things in general. One, if you slide this notebook into a bag, it might get dinged or something like that. Sony says the screen is designed to be more durable, but we're not sure how it's going to stand up over the years. And also, when you open this back up, you can see there's a lot of moving parts on the inside here, including there's little ribbons that connect the screen to the rest of the notebook, and these other little hinges as well. So things are could get jammed in there or something. So that's also a concern. The Duo 11 also comes with a stylus. It's an active stylus. So you can see this little pen here, and it takes a quadruple A battery. Actually, it's one we haven't seen too often. And the stylus is, it's got a nice heft to it. But another thing we don't like is the fact that there's actually no place to store it with the notebook itself. So chances are this is going to get lost, and it costs about $50 to replace it. So let's take a look into Windows 8 itself here. As you can see, there's the Charms menu on the side here and the start screen. We go to the desktop right like that. And Windows 8 gestures, they work pretty well. We can swap between everything we're playing. We like it pretty good. Now let's go back to the start menu here. And you can see Sony added a few apps of their own here. There's an album by Sony, which shows photos. There's a music app, and there's also Note Anytime, which takes advantage of the pen. So we open this up, and you can see you can draw on the screen. It's very responsive. We'll add a new page here, and there's even a text to handwriting tool here. So I can write something here, say this is not the best pen for it, and it'll try and interpret what we're writing, and then if we like it, then we can just hit enter and it'll pop it right in the screen there. We also like that you can select a number of there's a lot of different options you can pick for the pen in terms of brush size and color and all sorts of options like that. So it's a neat tool and really sort of goes to demonstrate all the different things you can do with a touch-enabled tablet. Inside this notebook, we should get to the specs a little bit. It's got a Intel Core i5 ultra-low voltage processor, 6 gigs of RAM, and a 128 gigabyte SSD. Battery life was a little on the short side, only about 5 hours. We generally like to see at least 6.5 from our ultra-portable notebooks. Weight-wise, this is about 3 pounds, which is also about average for an ultra-portable or an ultrabook. although those are usually 13-inch screens, not 11-inch screens like we have here. The notebook in this configuration costs $11.99, which is about average. And Sony says it's going to offer a few different configurations as well. Overall, you know, it's not a bad design, but there are some limitations. We didn't particularly like the travel of the keyboard, as well as, you know, the sliding design. We have concerns about this durability. So we suggest, you know, taking a look at it, but, you know, there's probably going to be a lot of other Windows 8 notebooks coming out on the market fairly soon. So take a look at them before coming to a final decision. This is Mike Prosper with Laptop Magazine.